With the release of the new Marvel Rivals and it taking the world by storm, I thought I could help some new players figure out which hero might be the best for them by giving them the top 10 best characters in Marvel Rivals. So without further ado, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into this video. Starting off at number 10, we have the Hulk, the big green machine, and he's getting the number 10 spot because of his diversity of abilities and creativity. The Hulk is a Vanguard character, which is pretty much just a fancy word for a tank. I think the Hulk deserves to be on this list because he can deal a ton of damage while taking a hit, and not only that, he gives a defense buff to other characters that are in the vicinity. And it gets even better with this character. When you get your ultimate ability, not only do you become stronger and are able to take more damage, but also your health bar fills up entirely. So if you're in a jam, you can just ult and boom, your health goes to 100%. The Hulk also gives me some Doomfist vibes from Overwatch. You can jump into a fight, and if things start to get bad, you can just use his ability to jump right out, jump far away, and get back to your supports in order to heal you back up to full. Not only that, he can transform into his human form if he takes too much damage. And sometimes people ignore you at this point. They don't really care because they're like, oh, he can't really do much. So you can go behind them and get a few picks in the backline occasionally. And not only that, he's not really a super hard character to learn. And who doesn't love the Hulk? Moving on to number 9, Iron Man. The OG Avenger is coming in at the number 9 spot because of his AoE abilities and his mobility. There are not a lot of characters in this game that do damage to multiple characters in an area, but Iron Man's basic attack can hit multiple targets at once. It's like a blast and explosion. Or if you choose, you can actually use a single target laser beam ability, which is insanely awesome. And kind of like the Hulk, he has the ability to zoom into a battle and boost her out if it gets too stressful. And whenever he uses these abilities, he has the ability to fly out of battle. He has the ability to power up his defenses and attacks. He also gets the ability to shoot rockets at other people, which deal a ton of damage. But I think the thing that helps him out the most is the mobility and the ability to fly, because obviously you're just harder to hit. Flying around in the sky, it's going to be really hard to hit you. Make sure to take advantage of his mobility, his AoE, and use his laser beam at the right time. But that's not only the craziest thing about Iron Man. Iron Man's ultimate ability pretty much just kills anyone it touches. If you shoot this giant laser beam at somebody and they're in the vicinity, they will die. Now, he does fall off a little bit as you get higher in the ranks, but in the lower ranks, he can kind of just destroy people because they don't have the ability and accuracy to hit characters that fly in the sky that well. Next up, you've seen him in all the memes and YouTube shorts that have been going around, Doctor Strange coming in at number 8. So every character in this game makes me feel like I'm playing Overwatch in one way or another. The Hulk, like I said, feels like Doomfist. Iron Man kind of feels like Farah, and Doctor Strange is no different. I would say he's a lot like the heroic Reinhardt, with a large barrier and health pool. But the great thing about Doctor Strange is his mobility, which makes him better than Reinhardt overall. His ability to fly and get him out of tough situations is a big deal. You can fly around and kind of avoid the damage that you were going to take, and people, obviously, like I said before, are not good at hitting flying moving targets. But not only does he have that mobility where he can fly, but he also has the ability to put a portal down and place another portal where he can just pretty much teleport anywhere in the map, which can help you whenever you're taking a point when there's not a lot of time left, or if you've seen the memes where they make a portal in the middle of nowhere and the entire team goes through it and just falls to their death. But mainly it'll be used for transporting either yourself to maybe get the flank or transporting your team to get on point. But the ability to teleport anywhere is amazing. It's super powerful. And then we have his other ability, which is a little bit more complicated. Doctor Strange has the ability to take in dark energy, which is used to power off this giant explosion whenever he gets high enough, and you use his ability called the Maelstrom of Madness. When the ability releases, all the dark energy leaves his body. But if your dark energy gets too high and it gets to 100%, you will not be able to heal for a good period of time. So your supports will not be able to heal you. So you have to be watching this bar to make sure that your dark energy is not going too high. You have to create kind of a balance between getting enough dark magic to do a lot of damage and getting enough dark magic to pretty much not be able to heal. But overall, he's a strong, tough, and mobile character. It's everything you could ever want in a tank. Next up, coming in at number 7, we have Scarlet Witch. Now, this character is a extremely good character. The only reason she's at number 7 is because of how annoying I find her. She probably should be higher on this list, list, but I just can't stand her. This character requires no aim or accuracy really, and it can just delete a DPS or support if they are found alone. All she has to do is hold down a button and she'll just suck the life energy force out of you without even having to aim. And she just has this extremely good ability to just vanish out of a tough situation and just fly around without you being able to hit her. But the fact she can just sit there and hold down a button and not really have to aim at all is just frustrating. And every time I'm fighting one of these characters, it seems like they come in, suck a little bit of the life force out of me, and then just fly away. I have no clue where they go. Once again, she has the flying ability, which makes it easy for her to escape, and we can't even deal damage to her when she's in that form. And don't even get me started about her ultimate. Now, her ultimate is extremely good, but it can easily be shut down. I've seen a lot of Scarlet Witches that just use their ult in the middle of a team fight and instantly get shot down by the entire team. But if you use it properly, like flanking and coming behind or coming from the sky, you can pretty much blow up anyone in the vicinity. And while she probably should be higher, the fact that she is like Moira, and I was in bronze for like 6 months when I started playing Overwatch in high school, I cannot give her higher than a 7 because I hate the idea of Moira and I hate the idea of Scarlet Witch. Coming in at number 6 is my favorite character in the entire game, Jeff the Land Shark. This guy is the most adorable and helpful character in this game. He, I would say, is a hybrid between a DPS and a support, and I would kind of call him a glass cannon as well. He is kind of a difficult character to use, but when you get good at Jeff, you can carry the team. He can heal, speed up other characters, he has a spray effect that heals as well, and just his mobility in general makes him harder to hit. Now, while he is swimming underground, he can be shot, he can be killed, but it's so easy to just swim away, hide in the bushes or something like that where they can't see your fin. So with the ability to do damage and the mobility and the healing and the speed boost he gives, he's a pretty great character. But the thing I love most about Jeff is not just his cute looks, but also his ultimate ability. I saw this the first time when I was in the game, and then I started seeing it all over YouTube, where he would just go and eat the entire enemy team and then just fall off the cliff. And everyone dies. He destroys the entire team. And that's why my buddy Jeff is coming in at number 6. Moving on to number 5, Iron Fist. Now this character, in my opinion, is the most fun hero in the entire game. Not only is he just extremely cool based on his looks, but he can pack a punch. And I would say he's probably one of the most useful characters in picking off people who are in the wrong positions or all alone. It is kind of hard to do damage to people that are in groups with him, but when people are alone, that's when he strikes. With his normal punches that he deals, he does a lot of damage. And then you add in an ability where he can pretty much block and he doesn't take any damage, but also deal a ton more damage back based on the damage that's taken to him. Also, due to his mobility, he can easily escape from a battle and run off to heal. Yes, he does have an ability that makes it where he can heal and meditate. So with his ability to run off walls, triple jump, and just jump around everywhere, it's a really good time to play him. Now we move on to number 4, Loki. Now this character is also very, very annoying, but in a good way. Loki, I would say, has the highest ceiling for a support character in this game. He can sometimes be one of the best supports, but at other times he is absolutely terrible because he's difficult to use well. But he can control a game if played correctly. He can heal, he can make clones that pretty much are sentry turrets for his abilities. They can attack, they can do all sorts of different abilities that he can do, which makes them extremely annoying to deal with because the cooldown on those things is not that long. He also can set up healing centers pretty much wherever his clones are. If those healing centers are up, they almost heal you instantly, and you can't really take that much damage if you're inside of them. Now they are easy to destroy, one shot pretty much and they're gone, but they are very helpful in the correct situations. And his normal attack is pretty great as well. It does some damage if it hits the players, but it also heals his teammates. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but both edges are good for the Loki. Where it kind of lacks a little bit is his ultimate ability. He can copy another character, whether it's on your team or the enemy team, but the only thing that's the problem is, unlike maybe Echo in Overwatch, if you die as the copy of the character, you die for real in the game. You don't get to like untransform and become Loki again, you just die. But it can be extremely helpful depending on who you're playing against, if you need more damage done. But overall, I would say it's probably one of the weakest abilities in the game, especially for an ultimate. Then we move on to number 3, which may be a little bit of my bias here, but I'm gonna say it's Star-Lord. Star-Lord was one of the first characters I played in this game, and I found instantly that he is extremely powerful. He's pretty much the Tracer of Marvel Rivals. He can jump around, he can fly, he can do a ton of damage with his main attack, and his ability to spin and deal damage to everyone around him can sometimes wipe an entire team if they're low HP. His mobility though, I think is the best trait that he has. He has very low HP, but with the correct positioning, he can run a lobby. Also, I would say his ultimate is one of the most overpowered in the entire game. If you have a bunch of DPS pushing your front line, you can just pretty much wipe them all out in like a couple seconds. He locks on to people like Soldier 76 with his assault rifle and blasts them down in a few quick moments. He, I would say, is the most easy character to understand. It does take a little while to understand the positioning required for Star-Lord, but his abilities are pretty self-explanatory. He can jump, he can fly, he can shoot gun, boom, boom, boom. He's probably one of the best DPS in the game, if not the best, and his ultimate ability just takes him to a new level. But he's not as good as my favorite, which is number 2, Hawkeye. Now this one is probably going to be a little controversial. As the lamest Avenger though, I feel like he is one of the best in the game and he can turn the tide of any situation in Marvel Rivals. His kit is not that complicated, but it is powerful. He can jump high, knock people back that get too close, and that's pretty much it. But where his power is in his arrows. He's got 2 different sets of arrows, explosive arrows and normal arrows. But the thing that makes him so powerful is his ability to one-shot characters. And I think if you can get a headshot and instantly take out Scarlet Witch, that is a win in my book. But seriously, if you're able to consistently hit your shots, you can take down some tanks with 3 shots and some DPS and supports with just 1 shot to the head. And a lot of the times, since everything is not organized in this game, people just run around with their heads cut off most of the time. It's super easy just to go behind them and shoot them in the back of the head or just shoot from afar. They don't even really pay attention to you because they're attacking your vanguard. And while it is a harder character because it requires a lot of accuracy, I would say if you master Hawkeye, it's a lot like Widowmaker in Overwatch. I know I'm doing a lot of comparisons, but this is a hero shooter, just like Overwatch. If you have a good Widowmaker, they run the lobby. The same with Hawkeye. If you have a good Hawkeye, you can pretty much win any game that you're in. And I didn't even talk about his ultimate, which can pretty much make him shoot anyone where they used to be. Now this ultimate I find to be a little finicky because the shadows will just disappear sometimes and it's hard to tell when they're going to disappear, if it's even worth shooting at the shadows or just shoot at their character. So it is confusing at times, but if you play him more and more, you'll understand the ultimate a little better. You'll get his kit a little better and you'll be able to improve your accuracy and you'll be able to run some lobbies. And moving on to number 1, which I don't think is that controversial at all, Venom. I believe Venom is the best character in the game in my opinion. His ability to slow characters down, do a lot of damage with his main attacks, and shield a ton of health if he's low. I mean pretty much, if he's low health, you're not going to kill him because his shield is going to go all the way up once he presses that ability. But not only is he good, he's just a fun character. Hawkeye, I believe, is a great character, but he's not extremely fun like Iron Fist or Star-Lord or Venom. Venom, I think he's extremely fun, can do a lot of damage, has a ton of health, and his abilities are just perfectly meshed for what he is. I feel like with most tanks in this game, I find myself moving forward at a slower pace, kind of sticking with the team. Whereas with Venom, I feel like I can just swing in, do a ton of damage, swing out, get healed, go back in, do a ton of damage, and it's just extremely fun because he does a lot of damage, he has a lot of bulk, his abilities save his life multiple times. You pretty much have 2 lives, if not 3. I wouldn't even say he's just a tank or a vanguard. He is more of a DPS tank mix. While he's not like Doctor Strange where he can defend other characters really, overall I would say he pretty much can do it all. And not only are his abilities so fun and just interesting, but his ultimate is one of the coolest in the game, I think. He just summons a giant venom face and eats whoever's below him. Overall, just a fun character. Overall, a tank that can heal, do a lot of damage, has mobility, and is fun. That is why he is number 1. If you agree with this list though, make sure to like and subscribe down below. A lot of time goes into this, and if you disagree, let me know in the comments why. Maybe I'll change my mind, who knows? But either way, have a great day.